what I've been teaching for the last 2 years, to say again, are these three markets, how to read them, what to look for. And if you read my alerts over the last 30 days, every single day I'm referring to one of, or all three, or two of the three markets that are affecting price action in some manner. The movements in the VIX strongly and algorithmically buy and sell off the SPY, which create levels there. And big caps. The big caps really drown when the VIX pops up, especially when it gets over 20. There are levels along the way, the 14s, the 15s, the 16s, the 17 range. But then once you move in, above 17 and you start working its way towards 20, what that means is that investors are not closing out their hedges and relaxing. They're uptight. So plus 17 on VIX means they're upset. And if it stays up there and doesn't come back down, that means it's heading above 20. Because if it does this, if it gets to 16 and pushes to 17 and it stays there, pretty good chance it's going to get above 20. And these movements up in the VIX, meaning investor nervousness, they're hedging, they're buying out of the money calls on the VIX because they're nervous. When the VIX moves higher in price, it algorithmically triggers sell-off in the SPY, and specifically big cap stocks, all of them. Apple, Microsoft, Meta, all of them. So that's really important to watch. So when someone says, well, should we look at Apple? Should we look at this? Should we look at that? What stocks, what are good options to trade? Well, before you start looking at options to trade, shouldn't you look at the markets that drive those options, that drive those symbols? This is the essence of Trade With Me Now Masterclass, is to give you an ongoing masterclass on price action as I have learned it, as I have put it into practice. My very first ad on Facebook, which some of you actually responded to and are still here 5 years later, 4 years later. It was 5 years, 1 week ago, actually. My very first ad was me walking on the beach, and I ran that for about a year. It was me walking on the beach across the street from my house in a bright green shirt. The wind was blowing like crazy, wearing sunglasses. I'm walking on a beach that was very uneven, so I'm stumbling along, and I'm holding up the phone with a selfie video. And the first words out of my mouth are, stop picking stocks. Stop trying to pick stocks. Stop it already. What are you doing? Why would you do that? Why would you just start looking for stocks to trade before checking the overall market weather, before checking the condition? Would you start looking right now for ski resorts for next week? Is that the first move if you want to go skiing? Yes or no? Are you going to start looking up? No, you won't. You must check the report. What if they don't have any snow? You're going to spend 2 hours finding the perfect place to go, checking your flights, looking at hotels. You're going to do all of that to then find out they got no snow? Really? That would be stupid. If you're going to go camping next weekend with the family, you're going to start checking out campsites and what's available and all this stuff, and really research where you're going to go and get the trailer ready. Start packing up the trailer with all your shit. Oh, to then find out that rain, it's going to come down like cats and dogs all weekend long, or temperature is dropping into the 20s. Oops. That won't go well with the spouse, would it? In fact, that was part of one of my ads, was if you were going to go camping, imagine this scenario. You want to go camping for the weekend. So you research the best campsites, and you're a pretty good camper, right? You kind of know. You've got the right equipment. You know what to look for. You know how to put up a tent, build a fire, make shitty coffee. You can do all that stuff. You're a camping, not an expert, but, similar to trading, right? You've got all the equipment. You know the know-how. You guys get the metaphor here, right? So you set up a trip, pack up the truck, pack up the kids, get it all going. You drive to the campsite about 4 hours. When are we going to get there? When are we going to get there? I got to go to the bathroom. Stop hitting me, right? All that shit's going on in the back seat. And then you finally get to the campsite. There's your spot. Plug in, right? Set up your camp and everything. You got the tents and all that shit, set up your little fire thing, light a fire. It's 5:30. You beat traffic. Smart dude, right? Got there before the rush, got everything set up. Everything's absolutely perfect until a raindrop hits the right cheek of your lovely wife. and she looks over at you, and you already know what's coming. Now, this is not a sexist conversation. I could have done it the other way, okay? So now it's freaking pouring. The wind kicks up. Kids are crying. Shit's blowing all over the place. Everybody's scrambling to throw stuff into the truck. It starts getting muddy. It's windy. It's rainy. The kids are screaming. You get into the truck. You start pulling out of the place. And now you can't get out because now there's 50 trucks in front of you all trying to get out of this campsite that's a soaking, wet, windy mess. And your spouse looks over at you and you know what's coming. Honey, great setup. Great plan. Did you check the weather? The reason why I spend 5 minutes telling you the story is because similarly, you've got the right equipment, you got your double monitors, quad monitors, or if you're like Michael, you've got 8 monitors and you're buying more. You know about options, the options change, you got 3 different accounts, you've been trading options for years. And then you start looking for stocks and you've got your screens and your MACDs and all your indicators and all your trading stuff that you got going on. And you're looking for stocks and you'll find a stock and there it goes. You buy Meta because Meta's at a bottom or it's overbought or it's oversold or whatever the fuck. And then what happens today? Or Friday. And you're like, did you bother? Did you bother looking at the weather? What really matters? And so this is what I've been teaching for 5 years, not even 2. Right? You guys with me? Newbies? Everybody? Everyone on the same page as me? It's too important. Right? We got to check what's going on in the market. So I'm always keying in with you guys. What's the VIX doing? What are yields doing? What is the dollar doing? Because these 3 markets affect, I would say, over 80% of the entire trading population. So look at the dollar. The dollar has been dropping, and it's going to take really bad economic news, recession, inflation, whatever, to reverse this thing. And if this thing starts to reverse and go like this, and yields reverse and go like this, and the VIX stays plus 20 and starts heading up even higher, you're going to see a huge correction. But not yet. So dollar down. And a lot of times when you see dollar, like everything goes down, like dollar down, yields coming down, everything's coming down. The only thing that's not coming down is the VIX. Let's look at the VIX. And so I've been talking about this every week. Those of you that have been hanging out in the live room with me know that I talked about this and I called this the other day. What I said, if you remember my words, the VIX doesn't just come here and pop above 20 just for shits and giggles. It means something. They get nervous, but then they take off their hedges. They get nervous, and then they take off their hedges. And it was just simmering. And what I said the other day is, this thing is just simmering away, ready for a move. Did I not? Anybody remember the conversations about this is working up a fury here. It didn't just do this for shits and giggles. It's a coming. And simultaneously, I gave you levels on the SPY. I give them to you all the time. Gave them to you yesterday. Look at the levels I gave you yesterday. I gave you this and I gave you this. And I said, all it's going to take, if it can hold above here, the VIX will drop, all is forgiven, and we're looking for a leg higher. If it doesn't, we are going to head back down to 6,000 on SPX to retest that level. And look at this, 596.75 on SPY. Is 6,000 pretty much. Look at this retest. Boom, boom. I would call that a retest.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video from Trade With Me Now. Make sure to go ahead and like this video and subscribe to our channel so you make sure that you catch our next video right when it's released. Also, if you have a question or comment, please leave that in the comment section below. And of course, if you want to learn more about Trade With Me Now or join our community of profitable traders, go to tradewithmenow.com. There's also a link in the description below.